And we're back.
Wow. Welcome to Beyond the Signs podcast, y'all.
I'm your co-host, Omar Hamouda.
And I'm your other co-host, Kiera Lee.
And today, we're going to be talking about... What are we going to be talking about?
So our topic for today is what does it mean to make it as a creative? How do you define success? And I think Omar has a lot to say on this topic.
I do actually, but I think what I want to do for the first part of it is to see what our definitions are and then discuss it.
Mm-hmm.
So my definition of...
Here, wait, before we get started with that, I'm so sorry to cut you off. Today's Omar's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
So
Today's
can
my
everybody
birthday.
just say happy birthday to Omar, please?
Thank you. Put that in the comments down below. Like it, because it is my birthday. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Happy birthday! 28th year.
It's actually
crazy.
It's crazy because like I like the number 7, and 28 for me. It's divisible by 7, so it'd be like, you have 7, 14, 21, 28. So that's like divided by 4, and I love the number of 4. So it's really interesting. Like I love, like I'm telling you, I'm very technical, so math is a part of me. Like a lot of people find significant numbers as in like they say numbers are magical. For me, it's not that they're magical, it's that they're significant in my world. So that's why I love number. Like we were just talking about earlier about
I was just
the
gonna
number
say that.
8.
Yep.
Right.
Number 8's my number. It was a number the day I was born. It's my soccer number. But I wasn't describing it to you as like an angel number or magic number because that's not how I think of it either.
Right. But it's interesting because actually the number 8, and I know we're going off topic, but I just want to say this because I'm pretty sure people are interested. The number 8, if you actually flip it around, is the infinite sign. So a lot of people, when it comes to thinking about like immortality or anything like that, it always involves the number 8. So that's another thing to think about when you're thinking about the number 8.
Wow. I can only hope and dream to be immortal, but
But anyway, back to topic. What does it mean to make it? Honestly, in life, like I've always seen everyone saying like, oh, that guy's made it, that guy's made it, or she's made it, or like, see, like they've made it for themselves. But what does it actually mean? For me, like, I think that's when you decided to like, hey, I'm done with life. I've made it. I reached my peak. That's it for me, right? But I never want to say I made it. I never want to be the type of guy who goes like, oh, I made it. I reached my peak. That's it. No, life is about a progressive change. And that's what I want. I want my life to keep progressing. I want every day to be better, to be even like more motivated to do the craft that I love. So when people say, hey, you've made it, I'm like, no. I'm barely scratching the surface because I want to keep going forward, you know?
As you said in your previous episode about your journey, barely scratching the surface. And that was a sub category of what we were talking about today. Does the peak exist?
Right.
Does that limit exist? And does it define somebody in their career and in their life? And I don't think so. I don't think you believe that either. I don't believe in ceilings. And I don't think that people should. And I think the people who...
Wait, ceilings?
Ceilings. Like a peak, like a top, like...
Oh, okay.
Ceiling meaning you've reached, like, you can't go.
That's such an
further.
interesting way to put it. I've never heard ceilings before.
Really?
That's actually really nice.
I thought it was a common saying, but if not,
I mean, if it's common, let me know down below too.
But yeah, no, I think it's just the concept of breaking those barriers and boundaries of, you know, either a stereotype or a box someone might try to put you in, whether it's in your field, in your career, or just in life. Like, you have the ability to break outside of any box that anybody could ever put you in. And that's what I think defines success, is how freely you are able to live on your own terms. and not by anybody else's terms, you know?
Right. And that's the thing about like, and we'll get this to another topic about like what it is like to be a successful creative, do you need to go to a traditional school?
Mm.
And I feel like that's what school mentality does to us to one or another, is that they teach them that like you've made it when you've built yourself like a career from a 9 to 5 job, and you're just coming up the ranks, and that's it. You're not going to go to promotion, or like that's the job that you're stuck in and stuff, which is not a bad thing. And like I want to emphasize this a lot because I know I've gotten a lot of people hitting me up telling me like, hey, like, are you calling us like we're like boring in life? No, it's not about being boring. It's about being content of where you are in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So me made it in life is when I'm dead in the grave, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Because like I've made it, right? That's when I can literally say I made it. But as I'm living, I'm gonna keep progressing. And it doesn't mean like I'm gonna do like grand things. It just means like
You never stop evolving until the day that you die, basically.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. The saying of you can never teach an old dog a new trick. I really believe that because you can always teach anyone a new trick. It's just about habits and how
So
to
you don't
break the.
believe that.
No, I do believe it. You
You
can't. You
you
you can.
can't teach an old dog a new trick? That's the saying.
Oh, okay. Scratch that. I always thought that the saying was you can teach a dog an old dog new tricks.
Nope.
Okay, then I don't believe that.
Yeah. That's what I
Okay.
wanted to clarify.
Okay, good. Because like you see, like my father is like what he just turned 67 this year, and I
So
can.
did my dad.
Oh, really? Happy
Yeah.
birthday to him too.
Likewise.
um, but yeah, like literally, like he's sitting down with me, and I'm showing him a bunch of stuff. He didn't realize that that existed. He's like, "Wow, like I'm learning new things," and I'm like, "Oh, wow!" Like it's not about like because you can teach anyone anything. It's about how open minded they are to be willing to hear it and be able to apply it for
Mhm.
later on.
Mhm. Be willing to learn something that they can't comprehend at first. Yeah, definitely. And I think, like you said, that relates to our parents, that relates to our friends and family, and we're not bashing anybody else who enjoys their 9 to 5 job. It's literally what you're saying about like what are like where are you feeling that success, and where are you feeling like you are content and happy and forever learning and evolving in life? Like if you feel like you are in a place where you are stagnant and you're not getting anywhere and you're not moving forward in any type of way, I think that each person individually can recognize if they feel that way or not. And if you do feel that way, maybe it's time to change something. And if you don't, then you're doing it right.
It's never a bad thing to start changing, but also you got to keep in mind, what does change really mean, right? Because the interesting part about our daily life is that we can keep evolving, right? But how do you evolve if you don't know where to evolve, right? So we answer the question, what means if do we believe in someone making it or not, right? But the question is, how do you change that and make people start to become better, or not even become better, or to be more open to kind of like explore new ideas? The idea is to start changing your habits, right?
Mhm.
So I know when I was working my 9 to 5 job, I had a routine, right? Routines are great, but it quickly puts you in this mundane like format that a lot of people hate and like just dread. Why do they dread their like days? Is because of that mundane like repetitiveness of their like day to day. That's why when they look forward to the weekend, it's a new change, right?
Mm.
But try to make those changes where it's like in the morning, do something that you would never do, right? But keep your routine still. It's
Incorporate new things into your routine that
it,
are either rotating things or just new additions to what you're already doing.
absolutely because like it's interesting. Like we talk about like changing, but also having a strict routine in the morning does help
Mm-hmm.
as well. I know I'm contradicting myself, and I know a lot of people are like scratching their heads right now. It's good to have a routine, but it's also good to break those routines sometimes dependent on the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, like I go through this morning routine where wake up, I wash my face. That's the first thing I do. Wash my face with cold water so I can wake up, right? It's important to be alert, right? Then you start like actually getting ready for the day. I go to the office, I drink a cup of coffee, have my like turkey bacon with white eggs on muffin. That's like my Starbucks order. So if anyone wants to send me a Starbucks order, that's what it is. Um and then I start working. But before I start my actual work, I take an hour to actually draw, to watch a couple of things on Hulu, Netflix, HBO Max, Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's my number one show right now.
I would not expect that from you.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
no one expects it from me.
Oh my god.
But
Okay, continue.
the reason why I do that is it gets me started it gets me started like I charge myself up with the cold water. That's the first step. Second step is I already like done my fun stuff, so now I can actually get to working seriously.
Mhm.
Because if you start okay, because what happens in a 9 to 5 job is that you wake up half panicking, trying to get organized so you can go to your job, and then you sit on your job for I guarantee you the first hour just sleeping on your desk. Just like I used to do that all the time,
Mhm.
sleeping on my desk, right?
I never had a 9 to 5, but I definitely used to do that in high school.
Ex-
First hour, hour and a half.
exactly, and that's why, like in high school, if you remember, the reason why they had homeroom the first period is for you to charge up and wake up,
Mhm.
do something fun.
And that's why they let you eat breakfast in there normally too, and
Oh,
like
absolutely.
just
It's
get
funny.
ready for.
School is a great routine, but it's not used in the right way, and I
Absolutely.
think that's the problem with how like
And
people
that's
take
because of the
things.
people who, control the education system and manage the education system. Because if they wanted to make it more like adaptable to everybody's specific needs, they could. But I feel like nowadays it's more just, at least when I went to high school, it was more just like, this is what it is, take it or leave it. Like, you have to be here. This is how we're going to function. This is your routine. It's very, strict and it doesn't change. And if they were a little more adaptive and lenient, and I think they would have seen a better response from a lot of students. And I think it like sets you up to think that this is what you need to accept for the rest of your life because you accept the strict schedule and curriculum that is, put on you by your teachers and the education system in high school. And it's not so much in college, still present, but when you go to a 9 to 5, it's like you have a boss and your hours are your hours and the days that you work are the days that work. And, there's no flexibility really. I mean, I guess with COVID, there's been more flexibility, but besides that,
There has been more flexibility. Like I can
hmm
tell you for one thing, like I still do a remote job,
so do I.
which I love,
hmm
and yeah, I do it from 9 to 5. And the great thing about it is that I can actually like relax and do my job like properly because of the morning routine I have. And like honestly, like I'm not saying like having a boss is a bad thing. Honestly, it's having the right boss or the right leaders.
It's about somebody who treats you as a human. Like we were
Exactly.
just talking about on the car ride to the studio. Omar and I started this conversation of the fact that, my dad is a doctor and he works in the pharmaceutical industry and um one of his coworkers was speaking to him the other day and just randomly commended him on the fact that he treats people below him, and everybody that surrounds him in his work atmosphere like humans and not just like a name on a piece of paper or just staff, he
And,
treats them all like humans, and that's the difference between
right. And you know what's the
the
bad
two.
like it's funny cuz like it's put in a bad connotation that the work environment, it has become a very unhealthy environment, to the fact where we have memes saying, not memes like, but sayings. It's like, if you die the next day, work is just going to replace you with another person. So it's as if you never exist. But those who never, like, you can never be replaced are your loved ones, your family, and those who have impacted your life. So, like, it really puts in perspective, like, not your life isn't just your work or what you do, but it's how you lived it, how you impact other people, and how, like, you made a difference, you know? And that's
Mm.
what I think making it is at the end of the day. Because
Mhm.
without that, I think there would be no purpose of life. And everyone has a purpose
Absolutely.
of life. Everyone has changed someone in a significant way, whether it's for the good, whether it's for the bad, but in general, everyone has a purpose in this life. And that's what I believe, like, full heartedly, that everyone's there to make a difference, whether it's small, little, or whether it's like that one person that you meet at the bus station and you're like, have a great conversation with them.
Mhm.
I'll never forget the best conversation I had. It was actually with a homeless person on New Year's Day. It
His
was
past?
this past New Year's Day. I had the greatest, like, conversation with him. And it's interesting because they have a perspective in life. Because here's the thing, like, and you should watch it too. It's called The Invisible People.
Mhm.
It's a documentary about homeless people in New York. And the interesting part is that if you actually stop and talk to someone, they will open up to you their whole life story. And
Absolutely.
not even that, they'll tell you perspectives that you haven't thought about because you haven't been on the other side.
Mhm.
And to me, like, when I hear those stories, I take it to heart and I try to, like, use that to be in my benefit, right? So, like, this man, right? His perspective on life is that no matter how many people come and go in your life, there's that one person that you think, it's not like a loved one, it's not like a friend, but there's that one person that you randomly think about. And it could be like this random person you've met for like 5 minutes, had a conversation with them, but would have changed your whole perspective on their life. Like, he was telling me, like, he remember this one old lady who used to live on the block of his street, right? And every time she would water her plants, right? And he would just see it. And one day like, keep in mind, like, everything else was dead, but that one flower was still alive. And he asked her, like, why do you plant that, right? And she said, if I don't, who will?
Hmm. That's profound.
And I'm like, I literally shocked me. I'm like, if so, the way I see it is that no matter where you are in life, and no matter what job you do, whatever you see that has to be done, do it. Because at the end of the day, if no one's gonna do it, who will?
Not only have you always been that type of person, but my dad has always been that type of person as well. And that's something that, I know I keep bringing him up, but my gosh, when the shoe fits, like, that man is always doing everything for everybody else.
So he's a 9.5 like me.
For real, like, he is always doing the most, whether it be his job, for his family, for his friends, to strangers. He does the most for strangers, let me tell you, in so many different instances. And sometimes I'll ask him, like, how do you have the patience to deal with people who to be the same person, whether or not someone's being extremely welcoming and kind to you versus very, very cold and offstandish to you? How do you be the same person in those
Mhm.
situations? And he just says, what would they rather go home thinking, "Oh, that person reacted terribly to me," even if they themselves acted, negatively towards that person. Or, you know, them going home saying, "Wow, that person really surprised me. They were extremely kind to me regardless of how I treated them." That really puts an impression on me to go forward in my life and treat people better and treat people with more respect. It's just something I've always admired in him that really relates to what you're saying. He's always been the type of person that's like, if I'm not going to do it, who's going to do it? You
Absolutely.
have to lead by example.
Absolutely. And that's why, like, for me, like, I'm going to wrap this up quickly for us because I know we're running out of time. But that's what it really means, like, to make at the end of the day. You don't really make it, but you keep progressing
Mm.
so that when the day comes when you're a legend or a memory, you can say, hey, he made it in life. That's where I want to be in life.
Absolutely. And if you think about it in terms of a creator, specifically creator standpoint, you know, making it or being successful does not always mean, you know, being famous or being well known for your craft or getting all of the highest paying gigs with the people that you've looked up to forever or anybody who's just hot in the industry and and up on a higher level. Like that as a creator, I don't think is what we need to be striving for in terms of how we measure success. I think how we measure success really truly means at our core, yes, we are creators, but we are people. And it matters how we treat each other. And it matters the impact and the impression that we leave on other people. Whoever you're working with on a day to day basis, on a shoot, on a job, on a project, whatever it is, put your best foot forward. Be the person that you would want to see in that environment, you know, being that certain way to you and treating you with unprovoked kindness and professionality and warmth. You know, you be that person because you have to be the change that you want to see in the world. And I know that's cheesy, but it's really, really true.
Yeah, I want to see you make a change. And with that, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And if you like this, why don't you hit the subscribe button? It's going to be right down here,
Do it.
right? And then follow us on Instagram, Twitter. And I made sure today in the morning that Facebook, because like I got the notification that it's my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So Facebook is working. So
Incredible.
thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And have a great, fantastic day on my birthday.
Happy birthday, Omar.
Thank you. Thank you.
See
Peace.
y'all.